Do you guys remember the picture that broke the internet? The one with Neil Druckmann hanging around with the guy in charge for Stellar Blade. Well, they didn't really have a collab, but one of the artists from Naughty Dog, one of the concept artists, decided to take a crack at drawing Eve from Stellar Blade. So let's have a look. Jesus. What do we have here? Where do I even begin to unpack? The funny thing is that the artist is Korean as well. I just cannot fathom this level of divide. There's like a 3-to-1 ratio on the internet where 3 people are mocking this and 1 is trying to defend it. And I'm like, how is this possible? Like, why is the ratio so poorly? It should be 100% against this. So, you guys know I'm making an indie video game, right? Let's assume that I had an artist which came up to me with this. I mean, first of all, a lot of people are saying that she looks manly. I mean, well, it's Naughty Dog. Of course, she has to look a little bit manly, but I don't think that this is the criticism. I don't think it's the problem. The problem that people are trying to say is that her forehead is too small, and she looks like she has Down syndrome. Her facial expressions makes her look angry. It's fine to have, like, women that look angry, but in the triple waist gaming community, it's almost required. Like it's almost like a checkbox that you have to fill to make your female characters look angry. I don't know why. Like maybe all the women in their lives are angry with the developers, or maybe they have like really bad relationships. But like if you play a lot of Western AAA games, you notice that this is a theme. Like all of them have to look angry. Meanwhile, if you actually play Stellar Blade, or you play Nier, or, you know, like games with female characters from Asia or from the West before 2014, you'll notice that women display more sensuality. They have different types of expressions, especially when they're for marketing purposes. Like if you put it on the box, or in this case, you have a concept artist that wants to show off his love and appreciation for Stellar Blade. There's no reason to give her this facial expression. But anyway, like this is the bare minimum criticism. Like this is not me even going into the meat of it. The meat of it is like, look at the lines. Look at this shit. It's like, why would you draw like this? Why is her ass so crooked? Like, how difficult it is to draw an ass. Like if you're a... Like this is what it tells me, that the artist in question isn't used to drawing asses. Like you're working at a video game company and you cannot draw just the proper ass. Like I'm not saying that it should be sexual or sexy or whatever, the word that kids use nowadays, but the line shouldn't be crooked. The composition, oh my god, the composition, holy shit. I tell this to my artists as well. Most of the customers, they do not care or appreciate finer details. Like if you put a lot of work into, for instance, like making this look as realistic as possible, and you make it look as close enough to human clothing as you can, some people may notice, but usually the vast majority of customers won't give a shit. So what you want to do instead is you want to focus on the composition. You want to focus on the colors, the palette, the whole thing, right? That's what customers really care about. So like if you're a game developer artist, and you have a lot to draw, like let's say you have 100 characters to draw, focusing on the composition is what you want to do, right? Like if you want to cut time from other things, then add more to the composition. This doesn't make any fucking sense. The background and the character don't fit. It's like the background is just there and the character is just placed on top of it. Which, you know, is not necessarily a bad thing if you're just doing a character design, but like putting her on a gray background would have looked better. That is like what the fuck is going on behind her? And why is the coloration like this? Again, like this is a promo, right? Like you're supposed to show off your ability to draw, and you're making this just like really weird color palette that just doesn't match. It doesn't fit. It's ugly. It's what it is. It's like there's too many things happening in the background that are distracting from the character. The pose is kind of weird. Like I think it's the facial expression which makes her look like she doesn't have grace. Like Eve from Stellar Blade is supposed to be graceful, athletic. I think like the facial features are making her look blunt. She looks more like I don't know, like a barbarian, I guess, rather than someone that's a dexterity-oriented character. And so, if you find this on the internet and it's like some random fan art from a guy, you can be like, okay, well, there's rooms to improve. Like, that's fine, I guess. But this is done by a professional, from a professional studio. And if this is the case, if this is the type of artists that they're hiring, the problem with the Western studios is far greater than I originally imagined. You see, initially I thought that they have talented people, but they just choose to draw this way for ESG purposes. Like they, if they wanted to, they could draw good. It's just that they choose not to because the HR hag is looming over them. But it seems that may not be the case. It seems that they may genuinely not have the talent in order to make good characters anymore. Like, they legitimately lost the art in order to do what Blizzard used to do with World of Warcraft back in the day, to draw those beautiful Draenei and stuff. I genuinely think like they do not have the capability, and that is extremely concerning. Because initially, when I was looking at what's happening in the market, and I'm seeing that China is taking over with this year, Wukong Path of Exile 2, like so many games coming from China, and unfortunately they're seeming to capture the Western market. I was thinking like, well, it's just like the Western companies are just going to have to unfuck themselves, like remove the HR hag, and everything is going to go back to normal. But like, no. Everything is not going to go back to normal if they don't have the talent. Like the changes in the companies would have to be even more drastic than I originally thought. And so it's so freaking weird. I don't know. Maybe like, okay, if I'm going to be extremely charitable here, I could say that maybe this artist is like a 3D artist and he just doesn't know how to draw 2D. And this is the first time he tried it. But the thing is, if I was to be asked before seeing this, how would a Naughty Dog artist, like how would an artist working at the Naughty Dog company, how would they draw Eve? I would think, yeah, something like this. Yeah, it's kind of something like this. And the sad thing is, like, this is how Marvel would draw her. I think, like, this is how DC would draw her. I think, like, this is how most AAA companies in the West would draw her. They genuinely do not know how to draw women anymore. Like, they have to be sent back to art school, and you need to have, like, one of those naked ladies coming up and sitting on a chair so that they can start learning again how to draw female characters in a sensual manner. Like, they keep drawing them like men. And again, it's not the face here, it's not the body type, it's just the position, it's just like the overwhelming vibe that you get. Like, this is something like a pose that a male character would do. This is something like Deadpool would do, Eve is supposed to represent peak femininity. Like, it's an already established character, it's an already established IP, you don't get to reinvent it, right? So, like, it should be incredibly sensual, like one of those Mortal Kombat girls from MK9. This is a teach-if. So the entire internet is laughing at them, like 500,000 views, overwhelmingly negative. The only positivity they got is from the Stellar Blade account, which, like, they're trying to keep it professional, but I'm willing to bet even they are like, what the fuck? I wouldn't be surprised if someone at Stellar Blade, like, saw this and it's like, alright, well, let's shave it. Like, this is our competition, ladies and gentlemen. Keep supporting us, or else you're going to go back to this. Let me know what you think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section.